Hello, my name is Kevin Lucky. We're here at Lucky's Outdoors, and I don't know if many of you know or you watch us on Facebook. We took a trip across country this year, and one of our stops was in Montana to fly fish. And we're fortunate enough to have Jason Morrison in with us. He was our guide. I know many of you like to go out west and struggle with finding who to go with. Well, this is your guy. Jason is a local guy, actually. I'm going to let him go into introductions of himself, where he's from, what got him to the point he was at. Jason?
Thank you. First of all, it's good to be here, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man.
I enjoyed being in Montana, and it's good to be back at home. Yeah, I was born in West Virginia, Braxton County. Raised on a little family farm ranch there. Went to high school in Braxton, went to college at WVU, and then moved to Montana almost 20 years ago. I'm a licensed outfitter in the state, and I've been guiding for almost 20 years, been an outfitter for I think just over 10, 12, give or take one or two either way, and run fly fishing trips all over the state.
Yeah.
I was sure glad to see you guys, and we sure had a good time.
Yes, we did.
Nailed some really good fish.
Yes, we did. And we're going to put some pictures of the fish and maybe some small videos. We did float trips, so it's hard for me to take a camera. So some of the videoing was with my phone. It's a little rough. You know, we're getting into this. I don't know if you've seen the video that Tristan had posted that, we're going to try to start doing some things and showing you guys some of the things that we do and the adventures that we have. And like I said, the struggle is finding these places. And like I said, how I kind of met up with Jason is, we started looking for this trip, or we started looking to book this trip. And so I started, like everybody probably starts, with the Google. And we laugh about that, but that's, you don't know. Yeah. And so actually I had a friend that's from Montana, and one of his high school friends, actually Dad had a guide service and he took over, so it kind of started with him. Well, I'd kind of forgot Jason's dad is actually a patient of mine, and he kept telling me, you need to go to Montana with my son, you need to go to Montana with my son. So we started planning this about this time last January.
Yeah.
And so just so happened, by the grace of God, Jason's dad had came in to the office, and we're talking, and he goes, you need to hook up with Jason. And so I decided, I'm going to give him a call. He gave me his cell phone number, and the first conversation was probably an hour, wasn't it?
It was.
I just hit it off with Jason. Jason is, stereotypical of Lucky Outdoors. He's just a good guy, down to earth, honest guy. So Jason and I communicated back and forth, and finally got all of our dates set. And like I said, by the time I got hooked up with Jason and met him in Montana, I felt like I've known him for years. One of the other things, you also, I think he was telling me you're a licensed captain.
I am.
And you're doing some lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have one picture of that, but you can send me some more, and we'll put on there too.
Yeah, we cover most of the state. Wherever's fishing good, I try to be there. I think I traveled 6 or 7 hours just to meet Kevin.
Yeah,
when you came in.
Yeah,
you came
Missoula.
in over Missoula area.
Yeah.
I'm based out of Billings, but we're not scared to do some traveling.
Well,
I head up to Fort Peck Reservoir as a favorite of mine. That's where I use my captain's license. We jet boat up some rivers in some spots, and then do the traditional drift boat fishing. And when you were there, the waters we were fishing, the rivers we were fishing were big. It was a raft with the aluminum frame in it, and some whitewater conditions.
Yeah, and he goes, you should be used to this. You've been on the New River. I was like, no, I haven't. I'm not a big whitewater guy. But in all honesty, not being down whitewater, I felt 100% safe, confident. I had no reserves about it. I put my kids in the front of the boats. I put Tristan with one of the other guides, and me and Cameron fished with Jason. We kind of moved back and forth, but at no time did I ever feel like So skill level wise, I don't feel like you have to be a master rafter to go do this trip. Do you?
Well, I mean, no.
With
No,
you, not by yourself.
You just
Yeah.
need to trust your guide.
Yeah.
It's the center rowboats, and I'm kind of the captain of the
Yeah.
of the ship, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stay seated and don't
That's right.
don't thrash around.
Follow
too
directions.
much. And if the waters get too big and you
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable, we carry life jackets with
Yeah.
us and have to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the seasons there. The water. And it's variable depending on the snowpack we have, but it can be massive flood conditions, and you have to move around. That's basically why I'm not based out of one specific spot. Is depending on the weather conditions, we have to move many hours away to get people into good, consistent fishing.
Right, and actually, when we went out, it was flood. I mean, it had flooded. Lower Missoula had actually flooded the week before we were there.
Yes,
And so I think the one river was running like 2-3 feet high.
it was big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And but
basically almost twice the volume of what it would normally run
Yeah.
in late summer.
yeah, and so I'm freaking out over all that. I'm texting him back and forth. He's like, "Don't worry, we've got it covered." So he, by the time I got there, he had the plan, worked the plan. We caught fish. I would say those first 2 days was Rock Creek.
Yep,
First 2 days on Rock Creek, we averaged 50 fish a boat, probably.
at least.
Yeah, at least.
At least. And
Yeah.
some of them, and a lot of hits, a lot of takes.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
short striking on.
Yeah.
We were using big salmon flies and golden stone patterns. I'm fortunate enough to buy permits. Rock Creek's a permitted river, and I'm fortunate enough to buy permits from my mentor, John Perry, that holds the most permits for the river. There's only 200 floatable days, which isn't a lot
Right.
per year
Right.
on that watershed. So we didn't see a lot of boats. There wasn't much
No,
pressure,
wasn't crowded.
which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to the Blackfoot,
Blackfoot.
Big Blackfoot, as they call it after
Yeah,
that.
and it was it's big.
Yeah.
It's big. Now I will say I was a little nervous going down that the first time, but after the first, we fished it 2 days, and really after we made it through the first 100 yards, I felt good. And that was the other thing too, the variety. I mean, we fished 2 rivers for 4 days, and I felt like each time we went down each river, I was looking at something different, and different opportunities to present lures or flies. And honestly, Tristan and Cameron fly fish a lot in the summer, especially Tristan. I hadn't picked up a fly rod in probably, maybe 4 or 5 years. And so I was really rusty. And, I was talking to my brother on the way over here, telling him that we were going to do this little interview and talk. And he's like, "I'd love to go, but I haven't used a fly rod for a long time." But honestly, the way he managed the boat, I don't feel like you have to be an expert caster, do you?
No, especially in the spring when the water clarity is a little it isn't super clear because the water's so high. You have to have good timing, honestly. When you catch big fish, which we had some monsters on.
Yep.
And it's light tackle, of course, but you don't have to be able to cast across the river.
Right.
The guides get the boat positioned correctly to where what would you say? You probably didn't have to cast any further than 15
feet.
16
Yeah,
feet.
that's what I would have said. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but especially that time of year when you catch you caught a 33-inch bull trout.
33-inch bull trout, which
That was a
we'll
fight.
try to get that picture.
Boys landed some dandy browns.
20 plus inches browns. Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. And the other thing about the gear, that was the other thing Brian said, was asking me, he's like, "Well, man, I don't have a fly rod." I was like, "It doesn't matter. He has fly rods, leaders, flies." I mean, we brought some gear because we like using our own gear, and especially Tristan. I mean, he's fanatical over his rods and his lines.
He brought a bunch of top flies, that he tied.
Yep.
Wanted to catch some fish on those, which is really cool.
You don't have to bring nothing.
No, you don't.
He has it all.
I also offer some package deals like on Fort Peck and the Lower Yellowstone, which is all inclusive. But like you guys chose to stay in that, hooked you up with a really cool hotel in Missoula.
Yeah,
It was right on the river.
Yeah, Missoula's a cool little town. We stayed. Yeah, I mean, literally, like we ate dinner in a hotel restaurant and watched people catch fish like 10 feet. I mean, they were literally right here on the riverbank fishing. And Missoula's a cool little town. The wife was with us, Jessica's with us. While we were out, she ran around. The town's not so big that she didn't feel comfortable running out, going to some little stores, a lot of stuff, a lot of restaurants. Cool little town, college town. So there's just a lot of stuff to do. And one day we didn't fish. And again, movie theaters, shopping, just really a cool little place. But yet, what, 20 minutes when we were fishing?
Yes.
Yeah, 20 minutes when we were fishing.
Didn't have to go too far.
Yeah, didn't have to go too far. So really, we've made a great connection here with Jason, and we are really going to do our best to promote Jason. We haven't worked anything out yet as far as deals. We're going to try to offer maybe some little specials if you come down and book through Lookie's Outdoors to book with Jason. You don't have to book through us, but we just like to start tracking these things to see if we'd like to do some more people or to do some other things. And